And
Hi, we are on episode 2 of Annegirls, where we are reading every Anne Rice book. We are still on the witching hour, unfortunately.
we're gonna be here for a while, so
We
might as well get
are.
comfy. But how can we get comfy with this shit going on? These shenanigans. It took 12 years to get through chapter 6. Why the fuck was it so long and violent to us, the reader?
It was an assault on all of your senses. That's what it was. The whole
Yeah.
chapter makes me physically ill.
And I kept checking on you, like, hey, have you made it through
It
it?
took me, I want to say, okay, we have 2 weeks to read the chapters for the episode. And it took me most of the first week and maybe a good chunk of the second week just to get through chapter 6. The rest of them came easy, but
The rest of
chapter
the
6,
sneeze, but it definitely took you like a week and a half. And you were so angry.
I was, yes, and every time I like picked it up, there was something else that made me mad and I have to walk away. Chapter 6,
I have some issues. I knew I've been known since I was just a baby teenager that Anne Rice is a sexy minded old lady, right? It's just that I'm wildly confused. I was wildly confused here because because I don't have much empathy really or understanding or like can relate to Rowan in any fucking way
mm-mm.
until we get to like chapter 10 and then I'm like, okay, but then she ruins it.
Oh
But
yeah.
I just can't, I don't understand. She's hot, she's blonde, she's rich, she's a doctor. She has a fucking boat. She's the coolest lady, like in theory, she's the coolest fucking lady ever. She's like
Mm-hmm.
who we want to be, like who we aspire to be. Not killing people with our minds, but like,
I
I'm an independent
mean,
woman and I can move mountains without a man.
I'm all for killing men with my mind if they piss me off. So I am not against that part of this.
Well, the little
Uh
girl, she didn't deserve to be mind
well, yeah,
killed.
but that was before like she knew
Of
that she
course.
had that power and such. I feel like she knew when she killed Graham, and I don't blame her.
Yeah.
She's gonna
No.
try to justify it, but I think she knew what she was doing. And
She
I think
definitely knew
that
what she was doing.
good.
She
I
did.
think it's a good thing. Take him out. He's just gonna fucking victimize someone else because obviously by fucking his stepdaughter at that point, or no, I guess adoptive daughter, he was also cheating on this woman who he was cheating on his wife with. So like just he's trash all around. Take that trash out. Like I don't have a problem. I can't get around the fact that this woman is just like, oh no, this doctor that she kind of knows, like through the grapevine, the Dr. Grapevine, he's like, oh, this guy that you pulled from the water, this who is an alcoholic, you know, he wants to come see your boat because he has supernatural powers now. And I mean, she has reason to believe supernatural powers are a thing because
Because
she
she
has
has
them.
them.
The idea of a strange alcoholic man picking him up in your fancy car and driving him out to your private residence by yourself without anybody
And
else
buying
in your
him
company.
alcohol.
Yes, and buying him alcohol on the way there. I don't understand. Like no part of that would I do as a piece of trailer trash. Like I am an absolute trash bag and I would not pick up an unknown man in my car and take him, and I don't have anything anyone wants to steal. My car is barely run, okay? So
You're not on trash bag. Stop that.
fine. I'm an enchanted possum.
I take it. I take that. Okay. Not a trash bag.
My
Um,
point is it's just not safe. No, it's not, it
no,
wasn't safe then either.
no, but then again, she can kill bitches with her mind. I
Yeah.
don't think she cares about that. I don't think she cares. It
I
doesn't
wish
make
she
sense.
would have.
It's not
I wish she
logical.
fucking would have.
Yes, but Rowan, I don't. There's something. wrong. There's something wrong with her. And I don't like to say that because that's fucking rude, but like, there's something wrong with this bitch. Because Michael is we just discovered that he's a much older gent. And like, for him being like a random old guy that you fished out of the ocean, okay? And he's like, I want to come touch your boat, but you gotta buy me beer. It's besides being unsafe, it's fucking weird. It's fucking weird. And then she can literally have any dude she wants, and she wants this chum bucket.
Yeah.
And not only does she want him, oh God, she has like a weird automatic, like you're everything. Like you're literally everything, and banging you is the best thing ever. Huh? That's what chapter 6 is, though. The bangs.
Bangs. I don't understand either. Like, there's a line in there that was like he was feeding on her like neck and her stuff and then her eyes. And that was one that caused me to stop. It reminded me of an Alice in Chains song, of course. Like, that's the only other time I've ever heard the term feed my eyes or feed on someone's eyes. That was weird. That was supposed to be sexy talk. I didn't feel anything.
I didn't feel anything. And you know what? It's weird to me because Anne Rice has written a lot of sex scenes. Okay. I don't feel like this was her best work. And maybe it's because I have a hard time believing that this epic woman that she's created, that does it. That's the end all
Yeah, and
be all for her.
I also just like, if we're gonna critique the sex scene, I have to say it. I want to get a time machine. I want to procure a time machine and take Diana Gabaldon's absolute masterpiece of how to write a sex scene book with a whole page of different words for the word for dick. You know, a whole page of words for dick, and go back in time and sit with Anne Rice and be like, do you really want to say she takes his sex out of his pants? Because
nobody should ever fucking say that. But then again, if you're talking about a granddad, if you're talking about an old dude, I guess you gotta dial it back.
Okay, but when you say
the sexy
granddad,
back.
it just reminds me of Bag of Bones by Stephen King and like the way he described the old men's crusty yellow stained underwear.
But I mean, would anything remove your disdain for Michael Curry? Because I don't think so.
No,
So really,
not a single thing. Like, I hate Michael Curry. He is the worst. I also found out he had glasses in this chapter because he takes his glasses off. I did not imagine him with glasses.
me either, and I wear glasses.
Yep, and I like guys with glasses.
That's our boyfriend.
That's our boyfriend, young Ted Raimi. But he's just no.
No. All I have to say
and
about chapter 6 is why is it? Sorry, go.
He leaves his gloves on when he fucks her.
And he makes like it's like a thing, you know, like
highly descriptive of like feeling her titties through the leather.
And I'm just like, you know, if I'm gonna get my hands on some titties, I'm gonna get my hands on some titties. If I'm, you know, like making love to the woman of my dreams,
you
know, I'm not wearing gloves.
And he already like described this feeling that he could feel her all around him, and he saw the shit in the kitchen where she killed her stepdad, and he's already like, they've already kind of spilled their blood all over everywhere and each other, and he's still like, nope, I'm gonna hold this on. It's like his guard. That, and then Rowan later saying, oh, I could fall in love with you. Bitch, you were in love at the first fucking, you were in love before you even saw him like proper again. I don't know why, but
I know why.
There's no other way you would, reason why you would act that way. Let a strange man in your car. No way.
I mean, okay, I can't say that maybe that I know why, but like, she obviously built up this idea of him before she
Mm-hmm.
met him. And she's one of those got to see it through, my boy, gals. And she's like, all right, we fucking, I bought you beer. You're gonna live up to this mental illness. Illness.
That was a Freudian slip and a good one. That was exactly what it is. It's fucking mental illness, brother.
Sorry, girl, but I mean, like, we gotta call it like we see it. I don't like to judge anybody for who they may love, but they don't know anything about each other except that they can do crazy shit him through his hands, her with their
Mm-hmm.
mind. And you know what? I know it's in my notes here somewhere. Um, but later on, I I don't like Michael. Okay, I don't generally approve of Michael's to begin with, except for the Archangel. Um, but he completely to Aaron Leitner just disrespects her power, disrespects who she is. That's not fucking real. That's fucking crazy. Even though I can do this shit with my hands, her shit not fucking real. Not. It's not. And okay, the other thing that icks me out in chapter 6, I think it's in chapter 6. I had dog-eared the page, but I didn't even bother putting it in my notes because I didn't want to look at it again. Is where she's pouring her fucking soul out, probably naked to him, and he's just like, damn, all I want to do, I don't want to argue with this bitch, but I think she's wrong. Like, everything she's saying to me, I just don't think she's right. But man, she's pretty when she's sad. Like, fuck you.
Just everything about this is so, and I want to talk. Once we move to the next chapter, like I have even more, but like I just feel like there's like a shifting here where like Rowan's supposed to be the main character, but we're getting Michael pushed a lot more like Michael's actually the main character, and I don't like that feeling because I
Well,
fucking
it's
hate
weird.
Michael.
But also it's not about him. It's the
No,
Mayfair thing.
exactly.
It's not about him.
And I also want to know like how, you fuck all night, like pretty much like the best sex you ever fucking had, of course, because that's how this is always described. And it's going to be like that through this whole book, so fucking buckle up. Which I
I don't
don't
have a
believe for
seatbelt.
a second. But this
I don't
bitch
have a
goes
seatbelt.
out there and bakes him muffins, makes him like a fucking 4 course, like there's like sausage and eggs and all this other shit. Bitch, when did you have time to do that? When did you have time to sleep? Like, I'm just saying, like, that shit takes time. I know, I make that shit.
It does, but also it takes effort. Let me tell you something, okay? I work a
Mm-hmm.
regular job, and that 40 hours is too fucking much. And when I eat breakfast in the morning, you know what I do a lot of the time? I open a packet of oatmeal and I pour some boiling water in it and grab a spoon, bitch. Bone apple teeth. You think that I'm going to this man? You think I'm going to put effort into this man? You want to eat? We're rich. Let's go out and get breakfast. I'm not cooking
Right?
for you.
100%. No, I don't know. Maybe it's just my poor person's uh restricted diet thing, but I'm like, I'm not going. But for me, I don't. Breakfast isn't even a thing I do. I just drink coffee until like 2 p.m. and then eat.
And then she throws some cheese on it. Like, oh no, it's cheese and some chips.
Cheese or
But
chips or chocolate,
if you
it's
had a doctor budget, okay, and you're living out, she's in California, there
that's true.
are there are plenty of restaurants that cater to different food things. Okay, your rich ass can find whatever. I'm not
That's
cooking
true.
for you.
No.
I'm not doing it. No.
I mean, maybe if it wasn't Michael, I might. But I mean, that's just like my
If it was
cancer
young Ted
rising
Raimi,
talking. Yeah, if it was young Ted
sure.
Raimi and
I'd
I
scramble him
was
up an
I was
egg.
hitting that all night, yeah.
Yeah. What's up? We are different. But hey, at least we're not fucking Michael Curry. So I'll
We
take that
are
to the bank.
not.
I'll take it to the bank.
The fetus conversation.
Dude, it was so casually slipped in there, and they just go, oh, yeah, by the way, yeah, my doctor friend, I've seen fetuses that they use for things in the hospital. It's a secret. Yeah.
Totally normal conversation that you have with somebody
Postcoital
you just fucked. Yes.
combo. No, 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 no. They're
And
weirdos.
you know what? I think that all of this, like this stuff, he has this thought earlier, like where he's thinking about this abortion that he was party to back in the olden days. The olden days, obviously, since he's almost 50 years old. That is not getting edited out. That needs to be in there. That's what we feel about him being almost 50 years old with this woman. Her mother is 47. Her mother is fucking 47 and she dies, or 48. Okay? So he's like her mother's age and he's like hitting that. I'm just saying, like, just disgusting. But the fetus stuff has got to be Lasher foreshadowing. That's all I'm gonna say.
Fuck! I forgot about that. But wait a minute. How old is Pedro Pascal again?
I don't know. You can fuck him though. He's not Michael. I think that.
Thank you.
Honestly, I'm just gonna say, like, I get to get a special kind of ick when it comes to Michael. He's 47, but you're not 20 years old.
That's true. I'm 32, so Pedro Pascal is within appropriate banging age.
He's what, 15 years older than you?
Hell yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. I don't usually go for older men because it turns out it doesn't matter how old they are, they can still be shitty. But
men have the capacity to be shitty at any age, but
literally my only notes about chapter 6 are really why is this chapter about them banging so motherfucking long? And then also it bothers me, like, it just bothers me because, you know, she shows such like strength and resilience other places, and then to just be fucking putty as soon as Michael shows up is weird. It's very weird. There was no time there for you to just, you know what I mean? Men are a dime a dozen, and like, no, this is special. And there's obviously something like, you know, but they don't even believe in divine intervention.
I felt like I called out here. You sound like I did a while ago. I 100% believe in love at first sight at this point. And there is certain situations that I could get into that could get me in trouble. But, however, Michael's disgusting. Michael's a special case. He is a trash bag. There's no part of the way he is written and like his personality, his looks, any part of it that is appetizing or enticing at all. We'll put it that way. He talks again about fucking Dickens in this conversation that they're having after they fuck, which I'm just telling you, if we fuck and you bring up Dickens, I'm gonna throw you out. You're gonna leave. I don't want to hear about Dickens. That's like the least sexy thing you can say to me. And then there's this thing that he says. It's like, California is full of lonely people, but Rowan is isolated in a pure, unselfish way. It just proves that these people, they're fucking, like, they're hogs. They can have no compassion for anybody that they are not or don't want to put their dick into, you know, one way or another, or like have dick put into them, whatever, however you want to
whichever way
fill out that equation, or like their own children. Like, I've come in contact with these people. I used to work at a newspaper in a very small rural town full of conservative minded people that they are hateful and can't understand anybody else's struggle until it comes to them. And that is exactly the type of thing that somebody like that would say. And that totally fucking jives with the absolute lack of class awareness that we see in Michael. Like, and that was his own family, bro. He is a special cold-hearted piece of shit. Like,
no, seriously, he is. And this is why I had texted you, like, we're gonna find out throughout the course of this podcast, but I'm like, did Anne Rice ever write a character who was poor and stayed poor? Because these are rich bitch fucking problems.
Yeah, I'm going to tuck the alcoholism after this because there's a lot to be said, and it actually kind of folds into the next chapter. But the last thing I'm going to bring up is Vivaldi and Dickens. Does that phrase mean anything?
To me personally,
Did you catch that in that chapter?
I did. Yeah,
That
I
he's,
did.
as an anxiety haver who actually has airport and airplane anxiety, that's just like, again, trivializing like an actual mental health condition, okay? And in the stupidest fucking way, in the way that makes you look like the biggest motherfucking nerd. And on top of it, I'm just gonna say that I was listening to Vivaldi and reading Dickens when I was like a fucking freshman in community college because I thought it was cool then. Okay, so this man is almost 50 years old and trying to fucking like toe the line of somebody that's like a freshman in college, of what like a fucking noob at, you know, classical music or classical literature would think was, you know, cool. I just, it's the most like unlikable character I have ever seen fucking written in anything. Like, I mean, we know my special hatred for Angel Clare, but very
Yes.
like, you don't get to know that character as much as this one, and he is just unlikable, absolutely unlikable.
Okay, I'm listening to you talk, and then every time I say something, I swear I have to run it back in my mind because hearing you talk about the love at first sight thing, I literally have to remember the episode that we did on that movie Mortal because I was very, very
Oh yeah.
apparent. Like it was very clear I would have followed this man to the ends of the earth. But then again, he wasn't giving like the bad energy that Michael gives out. Like
Yeah.
he's giving like I can't even describe what it's bad. Like, and as I just think about me. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I'm just like, like me being a single lady in a big city and how off put I am by
Yeah.
men like approaching me if I found a magical one and our paths happen to cross. I would think it's divine intervention, right? Like obviously there is but they don't even believe in that. They don't.
They don't. The other thing about it is the reason why it reads more towards divine intervention as well, and that has to be what she was going for here, is just that they're both uniquely terrible in the same way. Like they're just,
Mm-hmm.
there's not any other characters that are this horrible in this particular way that are so evenly matched. It's just
Yeah.
because Rowan is
But
a trash bag. Like, I'm sorry. She can
yes,
be
I
girl
can't
power
argue
all
with
she
that.
wants, but this bitch sits here later on and says the reason that she can't, like, have an emotional outburst is because she couldn't do anything that could hurt her hands because she's a surgeon and everything that she does is so important. Like, she's giving life back and all this other shit. Like,
But not
if
because life is precious. That's not why she does what she does.
no,
So then it doesn't really matter,
this
does
bitch
it?
doesn't have an ounce of humility in her body. That's the problem. Like, I couldn't imagine having an internal voice that, like, fucking constantly gassed me up that much. And I try to live delusionally. I try, but
Yeah.
that's beyond. That's way beyond. Now, I had a long conversation with Nathan, who is not present at this podcast because he is not feeling well this morning, about the alcohol, because for one thing he switches it off and on, because when he fucks Rowan he's like, I don't even need it, which that's not true. If you're actually an alcoholic, you get the fucking DTs.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able
He
to
doesn't
switch it
have
off
that. He
just
has like
because like you're getting your dick wet.
anxiety.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if he was an alcoholic, why is he drinking fucking beer? Like the amount of beer you have to drink to get loaded, and he
He's
always seems to be loaded, right?
he's got selective alcoholism.
Yeah, and the thing about it is like he's described as, like, you know, he's so dreamy and he's got like this nice body. And if you're drinking beer at an alcoholic level, you got a fucking keg around your gut, brother. There's no way. There's
It's
no
true.
way. No metabolism can stand up to that. You
Nope.
cannot convince me.
No, no. I really, really don't think that that's the case. Like I mean, they make they make different things now, you know, because everyone is like all the fads are to be carb free and health conscious and light.
Hmm.
But that was not the case when this book was written.
The dawn of the 90s. So like there's no way. There's no way.
Nice try, and we see you, girl. Nice try.
Yeah, it's a very sloppy description of an alcoholic, first of all, which makes me think either she didn't know an alcoholic or like she just was one of
Nope.
these people that didn't see it as a disease, one or the other.
It's not an excuse to not know an alcoholic because this bitch does her research. She does. That's one thing that she does, or she did, to an expert degree, was research.
I love her, so I hate criticizing her, but my God, like it's just so messy and it's so inconsistent and it is a bad look at alcoholism, honestly.
Well, I just think that's why it's important that we read these as adults because it's very easy to just romanticize all this shit when you're a teenager. And like we can still love her, just like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we're not teenagers anymore, ma'am.
Nope. Well, let's move on to chapter 7.
Chapter 7 was hilarious to me, but that's when you really see the shit about his drinking
Mm-hmm.
because I had an issue with Rowan looking him dead in his face and being like, "Don't drink when you go to New Orleans. Don't drink." And he's like, "We both, bitch, we both know I'm gonna drink. We both know." Like, so obviously, respectfully, her pussy's not that poppin', you know. To she's nobody's gonna change Michael, okay? And he's a man pushing 50. He's set in his ways. He's gonna do what he wants to do. So he's like literally as soon as he's like on the plane, he's like, yeah, let's get this party started. And he's like, honestly, this is he seemed to me like how I am when I approach EDC. This is a fucking adventure and I'm going to enjoy it out of my fucking mind. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what it seemed. He's like, let me just toss it back and oh, this is my childhood home. Oh, this is the same. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at this. You know, like less like he's like, all right, I'm on a mission from the beyond. And obviously, this is something I have to do. The way he's obsessing about going back to New Orleans when he's with Rowan and the way that he is when he gets there, very different things, which makes me interested because I did ask you if they're going to be like a couple. It's I'm interested to see how that dynamic is going to be when she's like there with him because I can't imagine her being able to change him and like him respecting what she wants because
I
he's a dickhead.
mm-mm.
Oh yeah,
I
okay.
the thing that struck me about this chapter, like the only thing really, is how he just has because Rowan's not there now and his aunt's not there. So somebody
Right.
else has to take care of Michael. Michael can't take
Mm,
care of himself. We have the cab driver, and then when he starts to get out of control for even the cab driver, Aaron shows up. He cannot
mm-hmm.
be his own fucking person. He has to have a babysitter.
Yeah, but like fucking shame on you for like making a man who's doing his job be your
Right?
fucking babysitter. You're almost 50 years old, my guy. Get it together.
100%.
Oh, I just say whatever you want to say about the shit in my chart. I have no patience for baby men. I don't.
Mm-mm.
You need to do better. Like I'm not I will leave you in the street. I will walk away from you. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know him. Meet you back at the pawn shop train. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And
Yeah.
then he makes a big deal about the house being in his dreams, and I'm like, hello, divine timing. You like had a near death experience, and they show you this house. Okay, and you've seen Lasher since you were a child. That's fucking weird. That's suspicious. Okay, I don't know what the fuck that's all about. But like, so like, God bless you. He's seen Lasher before Rowan saw Lasher, and everything brings him back to this house. This is suspicious. You might want to be
Yep.
sober a little bit. You know what I mean? He's fallen. He's fallen down outside this old house. And then I literally said the old English man has to save drunk ass Michael. And like Lasher flashes, so he's like, oh, the man. But then
I
Aaron has to save him.
Yep. Yep. I don't understand it. I wish I had just a tiny bit of his confidence, because there is no way I'm traveling alone loaded. That's part of the reason why I have trouble traveling long distances by myself.
We're also women. He has the
Yeah,
privilege of not having to
that's
worry
true.
about that shit. Nobody's gonna kidnap big ass 50-year-old Michael. Nobody's gonna drug him. Nobody is going to hurt him. They don't give a shit about him. We're hot commodities, baby.
Michael definitely ain't.
No, nobody gives a shit except Rowan.
And Aaron, unfortunately. But
My guy. I fucks with Aaron.
yeah, I do too. I don't like the way that this is about to go.
So I was immediately icked out when chapter 8 started, because it's like drawing me back into the ick. I hate the way that Rowan talks about Michael. It just is so absurd to me. It's absurd. And this is the thing that disgusts me the most. Okay, she's talking about their lovemaking and how perfect it is, and then she akins it to rape. Okay, and Michael talked about that previously. I didn't mention that in the first episode that we did. I totally forgot about that. He mentioned that also. So they both like rape shit. So when you say that they're meant for each other, this is why I don't like this bitch. This shit right here. That's not healthy, bro. And no. Like, she had some fucked up shit happen to her, but like that's not fucking normal. That's not okay. It's not.
I have to say something about the structure of, we have chapter 6, which is all of us wanting to blow our brains out. Chapter 7 is Michael completely. This is an action chapter. When you are writing a book, you have two types of chapters. You have action chapters and you have reaction chapters. So one thing I notice about this is formatted like a reaction chapter. Michael gets an action chapter after the banging. Rowan gets a reaction chapter. She has to unpack the way that sex changed her trajectory in the novel and reformulate her trajectory going forward, which you see in like the way that she's like, she came into this, I'm not going to New Orleans, I'm not going to dig into this because my mom, it was disrespectful to her. She comes out of it like, I got this great dick, and now I'm thinking about going, back to, I'm thinking about New Orleans a lot, I'm thinking I might do it. This dick completely changed her mind, and it's gross. It's gross to me, and like I said, I think earlier is that it feels like they're setting Michael up to be the main character instead of Rowan, and that really cemented it to me when I saw that her next chapter after that was a reaction and his was an action. He was moving on his own volition, albeit very babyish as Michael does because he's a man child, but
Literally,
I didn't like this.
fumbling. No, and it gets worse. Okay, I'm embarrassed for her. I got secondhand embarrassment all through this motherfucking chapter. Here's my thing. Okay, right? They fucked, right? And they both thought, yo, this shit was like rape. I like it. Okay, but on top of that, Michael is a psychopath about contraception. And you mean to tell me that him, a psychopath about contraception, and her, a doctor, neither one of them thought that they should use any kind of protection? You literally let him come inside of you?
Oh,
you don't
God.
know him.
You let that fucking gross alcoholic psycho with gloves nut in you, you disgusting bitch. Jeez.
Who you bought beer for.
Ew.
Ho.
Ew,
and I don't say ho like no, never forget. And I don't say ho in a slut shaming kind of way, because like do what you do, boo boo. I say ho as in you stupid idiot bitch. Like when they say idiot sandwich, it's Rowan. Okay? And Michael is the bread. She's an idiot fucking sandwich. That's not like there's the basic. Okay,
I'm in physical pain over this.
as you should be. Okay, we all go through or have gone through a hoe phase or two. Okay, there are rules. Let's unpack. Rowan is dead ass in the middle of her hoe phase. Okay, she has a specific type of man. Kudos to you. She only wants to fuck him on the boat. The great, that's great. She wants him to look a certain way. Okay, but she wraps it up. And when I read a sex scene, I just kind of like assume because I don't think they were very graphic about like like sometimes they'd be like, oh, you shoot your seed up in there, you know what I mean? And I don't feel like there was any of that because this revelation came as a shock to me. Like, you stupid bitch. But then again, that reminds me that they have rich people privilege. She doesn't yet know that Michael is going to eat her alive if she chooses to have an abortion. She doesn't yet know that. They have rich people privilege where they don't have to fucking worry about that shit.
Yeah.
And to the fancy doctor who knows people who makes, mix stem cell juice up in the basement of a hospital. So whatever STD she could possibly get, they can fix it with the stem cells. Like the rest of us are out here like Roe v. Wade being overturned and like, well, I'm never having sex again because fuck you. And she's out here just like, that happened, I guess we'll figure it out.
Oh God.
And
I'm just
he has the same thought like, oh, why didn't I? It's weird. It's not normal. The thought should have crossed his mind. It should have. It just should have. The way they laid his character out, it should have.
mm-hmm. I mean, he kept
Don't
his
tell me you're
fucking
so
gloves
blinded.
on. You just put it on your dick instead. Fuck her with the gloves.
Can you talk about when she sees Lasher?
It's so fast. It happens so fast. It's like just a moment.
Yeah.
And she like doesn't even believe like afterwards. But she's she does all the things that like a rational person is gonna do, which is like go search, make sure there's nobody on your property, all that other shit. Like she's got a big fancy place, so I'm assuming that she's probably got a gate on that motherfucker and like some other stuff going on. So it would be weird as fuck to see a guy out on your dock. That wouldn't be good news.
For sure, Z's.
But the way that she waffles on her certainty of having seen him after this,
Mm-hmm.
like depending on Michael's involvement or like how, again, I just feel like Michael has fucked with her head massively. And it's thrown her off. It's made her a different person. You don't see her like later on. I think at the end of 10, she says she starts talking to the doctor that she works with, and she's like telling him I'm gotta go on leave or whatever. And she's like, I
Mm-hmm.
finally just like slip back into my normal voice. It's like this, like getting that dick totally threw her through a loop. She can't even function on a normal brain level anymore. So she doesn't know if she saw Lasher. She thinks she does. Later on, we find it's kind of an omen, right?
I wanted you to talk about it because first I wanted to know how you felt about it, but second, so that I could add how fucking embarrassing it is for this hoe to be so scared that she calls Michael. You just fucking met him and he didn't answer the phone.
True.
Now,
True.
how do you feel, honey? How do you feel?
And she
He
still
didn't
left a
even answer
message
the phone.
too.
I would have been like, that would have been a sign to me, like, woo, you caught me out of my character. I've been fine. It doesn't matter that I maybe saw a ghost. I'm not going to call you. I'm not calling. That's embarrassing. Like,
Yeah.
who is she? Who is she?
But I mean, she
Who
got
was it?
that dick,
Michael?
and so now she's just a completely
She's
different person, you know?
okay. Stop, because there's this joke in Family Guy about being digmatized, and then Francine's really dumb, and she says, "Oh, you're thinking of hypnotized," but they literally can be both in this situation because she has a boat. So she was digmatized, but then like you have to take Michael's age into consideration, like but okay, okay, all right, okay. When you're young, sometimes it be like that. Okay, it doesn't count for her, I feel, because she's very, she's a doctor and she's fucked a lot of dudes. Even Michael was like, yeah, they're the ghosts of all these fucking men, all of Rowan's men.
I
There's
love
been men
that.
in here. I know it. I've seen them. I've seen them like,
I
yeah,
hope
you
he's
did. Did you see
fucking
them
jealous.
joining?
I really do, that disgusting
That's
bitch.
right. I hope so too. I hope it makes you insecure. But then that's he just started drinking. He's like, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm drunk. I'm great. I'm fine. I'm back in the land of my people. I'm fine. It's fine. It's fine. And then chapter 8's over.
Yep. Chapter 8 was a small one.
Chapter 7 was short too.
Yep.
And which was refreshing after the slow crawl.
6, yeah. 6 was 100 years
the
for
slow
me.
offensive crawl.
Yeah, it was 100 fucking years.
Like 50 years for me. Because I had, at the end of it, I was like, I gotta get through this shit, man. And I just forced myself to just get through the rest of the pages and, take notes in the best of my ability. There were 2 notes. So I just had to make it through. I couldn't.
I did that the first time through. Like, I only took like 2 notes because I was like forcing myself to. But then I thought about it and then I got mad because I started thinking about how fucked up so many different aspects of it were. And then it just exploded and it's like a whole page.
Can I tell you my first note of chapter 9?
Yeah.
Does Aaron Leitner have The Shining?
Aaron Leitner is psychically gifted. And that's the difference, I will say, from the character that they give us in the series. Is supposed to be
You're
Aaron
talking about
and Michael.
Cyprian?
Yeah, Cyprian.
But he's so pretty.
He's pretty, but God, he gets like fucking caught and like bitch slammed by Rowan so easy because he has like none of Aaron Leitner's tact and ability to hide himself. Aaron Leitner is a consummate professional, and that shows very much in this. Like, although he is a babysitter, he's babysitting actively.
He is, but like then when he gives the whole like history of the telemasca and like what they like to do and like he's a recruiter and all that shit. He likes that shit. He does. It feels like, like a higher purpose for him, and he does his job and he does it well. Like I really genuinely fuck with Aaron Leitner. I hope nothing happens to make me not fuck with him.
So the other thing that we realize, like, is how much Michael has seen Lasher in this and what that means to a Mayfair. And again, another sidestep. Michael's actually the main character. That's what it feels like because Lasher is only seen each generation of the Mayfair family. He will smile upon a member of that generation, and that's who is attached to Lasher, who can see Lasher. So why the fuck can Michael see Lasher?
I'm really scared for the answer, dude. Like I'm really not okay in my stomach, but no, I can't. Like I'm not ready.
This is just a big build up to a bunch of bullshit. I can tell you that right now.
My stomach hurts. I did discover one thing that Michael and I agree on. One thing and one thing only. And it is so random. He hates being in electrically lighted rooms in the morning, and so the fuck do I. But I feel like it's because I'm neurodivergent. I don't like the big light anyway. I like to open the windows first thing in the morning and get that vitamin D.
Same. Mine's from working retail. I mean, I am neurodivergent too, but I think that
those
working retail, it drives you insane. If I can have my window open and that's it, I will have my window open.
Same until it gets dark, and then I flip on a side lamp that just dimly lights around, like it lights around my bed, and that's it. It's a light cocoon. But fuck Michael.
Fuck Michael.
Okay, so here I have a note. I think it's weird that Aaron did not know that Rowan saved Michael's life. Like I know it wasn't public, but he's psychic. I think that's weird.
Well, I don't know. I think that I don't know the parameters of Aaron's gift, and I also think that to some extent Aaron has like this respectability, like he's very chivalrous. I feel like with Rowan and Michael, he's going to take, because he is like on their case and he sees them as humans, he's going to take what he can from like reporting, and then he's going to take what he can get out of their mouth. Unless he got put into a position where having to have that information was like a life or death thing, then I think he would just take what he needed. But I think he has
Okay.
he's very coded in that chivalrous way, and all the Talamasca people are like David, from the other series, from the Vampire
We love
Chronicles.
David.
We love David, and David is very much the same way. Like, he's not gonna take directly from Lestat. Lestat will give to David. Lestat wants to fuck David. So,
Oh yeah, does it?
Mm-hmm.
Me and the old Talamasca guys.
They're dapper. They've got a charisma to them.
They're dapper as shit, bro. Okay, so then the other thing, Michael just starts spilling his fucking guts about Rowan's business, though. And like, oh yeah, she's got this diagnostic sense, only for him to disrespect her right after. Like, oh, yeah, but like, her shit's not real. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm gonna put it out there, and I don't know if this is true because I don't remember it, but I think that Rowan actually just brought him back from the dead. I think it was like actual resurrection. I don't think she first aided him. I think she brought him back from the dead. So it's just like a real slight for him to sit there and
yes,
say the things, because that's why I think he had such a strong vision, because it was his power being awakened by her power coming into his body when she pulled him out.
He was dead for so long. Like, he was dead for way too long for there to be like a little inkling of life left in there. He went to the other side.
And we're supposed to believe he is like a brilliant guy. And if we know anything from Trailer Park Boys, the people that can be knocked out the longest are the ones that have like 2 working brain cells, like Ricky. Ricky can be unconscious for a very long time because he's only got a little bit working up there. So there's not much to be saved, And Michael supposedly is running on all cylinders with his Vivaldi and Dickens. So, he can't actually be out very long without becoming brain dead.
Too. Yeah, I thought about that also. I'm like, doesn't your brain start to just when you're dead? Like when you die?
Your brain becomes a marshmallow. Yeah. If you don't have oxygen up there, it just becomes a fucking marshmallow. And that's what was happening. So Rowan is probably the reason why that got reversed, and he's sitting there talking smack about her.
And then I just keep thinking about what you said in the last recording about what happens later, and it really fucking pisses me off. It really fucking pisses me off.
I will tell you that Michael is as important of a mechanism as Rowan in like Lasher coming forward, I believe, if I remember correctly. And that sucks, and I don't like it. But so is Mona in some respects. Like, I think that everyone kind of plays, it's like a perfect storm of absolute fuckery. Which is what we're used to with Anne Rice. Again, when you think you know where this woman is going, she's just like, nah, I'm gonna do something else, So maybe not the devil, just like leaning into the worst things that you would think. Like, I'm sorry, but as soon as they're vampires, I'm wondering about like when someone's on their period, especially if they're, infatuated with the person at the time. So, she just, had to put the worst part of my brain out there for me, and I appreciate that.
Literally, I vividly remember reading this scene as a teenager with my mouth fucking open, underneath my covers, holding the book tight to me, like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I'll never be able to tell anybody I read this shit. I'll never be able to tell anyone because other teenagers were not doing that. It's amazing.
This is the chapter where we learn that there's the age gap, though. I think that this is where Aaron actually says, like, you're 50, whatever. Or, no, you're almost 50.
Yes, because he's out here acting like a damn fucking fool. And okay, I was getting really, really irritated with him because Aaron kept telling him, like, I can show you, I can't show you here. And he's like, no, fucking show it to me here. Show it to me. And like the back and forth was so unnecessary. And I literally yelled at the book, you're a grown up. Either go or don't. Make up your fucking mind.
There's got to be a reason for it. I'm perplexed by it because either like you're doing NaNoWriMo and you're trying to fill your word count, because that's the shit that I would do, right? Or, you're trying to show us what a petulant little fuck Michael is. And I feel like she doesn't want to do that. I feel like she wants us to love Michael.
But it does very much feel that way. Like, there are a lot of instances where I'm like, Michael, shut the fuck up. Like, make me the Talamasca bitch to get him to do what needs
Yes.
to be done. I'm grab it by the ear and be like, "You're coming with me," and
I
that's
would full
that.
on box this bitch. He would be fucked.
Right?
Like,
You're like, "All right, I've had enough. Let's fucking go. Let's
let's go.
go.
We're going
Let's
outside. It
go."
is old man fight club, and he counts because he's almost 50.
Old man- Aaron will light your ass up. That no pun intended.
Yeah.
No pun intended. um,
Aaron the Lightning Lightner.
Yes. I want to see him box the butcher baker.
Yes. Let's go.
My money's on Aaron. So one night I had Michael keeps falling into this disorientation, right? Where like pieces of the vision are coming back. I I I feel for that because it's a lot like, when you have to get yourself into a specific mindset for meditation. And when you get really good at it, sometimes it happens without you intending to. Sometimes it happens when it's very inconvenient. So I equated it to that. And
Yeah.
so, but it didn't make me like feel bad for him. I'm just like, oh, I can, put myself in that visual. But like, all the more reason to just get in the goddamn car.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Also, like, again, it's just like with Rowan when she's like, "Oh, I'm experiencing this, but I'm not going to look further into it because I can't study it for science." It feels like the same kind of shit, like where do you like literally have to have your nose like rubbed in the fucking puddle of piss on the carpet to believe that, you're this is happening? Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yes, obviously, yes. Obviously, yes. Bad Michael.
Bad fucking
Bad.
Michael. The one thing
Yeah.
I will say about chapter 10 that like really bothered me about the way it's written. And see, this kind of undoes all of Michael's fuckery to an extent because Carlotta is just she's so fucking
She's a
stupid. She
bitch.
just dumps too much shit. If you really didn't
Yes.
want her there and you so much so that you drugged your fucking like what is I don't know what she is, like her niece or something, you fucking drug her whole life and sent her kid off to California just to fucking ruin it by a stupid phone call and being a dumbass. I just don't, and you're supposed to be a
Right.
lawyer, you're supposed to be a smart guy. What the fuck, bro?
Right. She, like she's old and tired, but like this is a deep secret. You know what I mean? Like this is like heavy, like black magic, blood, blood spell shit. You know what I mean? Like you
Mm-hmm.
literally obviously dedicate your life to it because Carlotta doesn't have a man. Like this is her life. This
Yeah.
is her life. So just because Ellie's not around, like don't fucking say anything. It's easy. Don't fucking say anything. Like this is not for you. Click. Call the
Yeah.
lawyer.
It's really dumb. I really thought that the whole point of like fucking Michael and all of that was because it was going to turn Rowan towards New Orleans, which she wouldn't have done otherwise. But I feel like after reading
Yeah.
this, she definitely would have. Just curiosity. I mean, anyone would.
I
So,
for sure would have. She didn't need a man. Like, stop. She's an independent uh sailor doctor with lots of money. She doesn't need a man to make her do something that's her birthright that she'll figure out anyways. Like
yeah.
curiosity will get to her. Like she doesn't have shit going on. She does her doctor shit and then she comes home and she fucks randoms. She doesn't have shit going on.
No.
Not slut shaming. We're
And
not slut shaming
no,
Rowan.
absolutely not. Like, if I wanted to do that shit, I would 100% do it and I wouldn't feel bad about it at all. I just don't like people,
Right.
so I don't.
If I was a sailor doctor out in California and I could literally just I would party every weekend, okay?
Yeah.
With randoms, without randoms, you know. But I mean, we're not the same.
No.
We're
I kind of feel bad for Rowan when she finds out Deirdre's passed, except for she is so fucking insufferable. She goes right back into how important she is and how she would freak out, but she can't because so much is depending on her precious hands and all this other shit. If this bitch just had an ounce of compassion or humility, she would be a likable character. There's things about
she
her that could
would.
be likable, but there's just nothing, there's no humanity behind it. She's just like the worst fucking person. I don't understand.
Yes.
Rita
And I
though.
like Oh, I cried. Okay, I was crying. I love me some Rita May. I
Me
don't know,
too.
like I feel certain that Anne Rice, respectfully, wasn't even trying to make her as great a character as she is. I feel like it happened by accident,
Yeah,
especially when she's surrounded by a bubble of shitty fucking people. She is a gold star, and I love her.
me too. Rita's
I
like my
do.
favorite at this point, and she's always desperate to do right by like the great love of her life, and that's so moving. It's so heartbreakingly poignant, and I love her. You also see this chapter is where Rowan comes back into herself. This is that moment where it takes like all of this other stuff interfering to bring her out of the haze of fucking Michael.
Was it a haze because he's old? Be honest.
She's so domestic with him. It's just gross. I just can't.
Like
Cannot.
immediately,
Yep.
she's that way. And like I know I already raged about how I'm not cooking him breakfast, but like just
Mm-mm.
immediately, I can't imagine. Okay, I can't imagine. Like Michael's gotta be rusty. Like he died. You know what I
He
mean?
whole died. He can't be that good of a way. Come on.
No, he can't. And he's been like lamenting like a weirdo in his home for
And you're
months.
telling me, okay, he's there in a drunken stupor. You're telling me that that bitch smells good? Like, just because he got shaved once? Like, his ass gotta stink. I'm just saying.
He definitely seems like one of those dudes who thinks
Yes.
it's gay to wash between their butt cheeks.
He seems like
Just
one of those
saying.
dudes that shows up at a Coheed and Cambria concert. That's all I'm saying.
I can smell you from here, Michael. It's embarrassing, but you're both embarrassing.
It's disgusting.
I wanted to have nice things to say about Rowan. I came into this experience like really wanting to like her because
Mm-hmm.
I say because she was the shitty circumstances, but they were just interesting circumstances because she was very well cared for, and like Graham is fucking shitty and he's shitty for what he did, but like, go to therapy, please, for the love of God. Instead, she fucks Michael.
That's not therapy, girl. That's not therapy.
No, it's like the opposite, actually.
It's re-traumatizing.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But
Damn it! I'm gonna read more tonight.
yeah, gonna be hitting that old dusty trail, continuing on with this book now. So
I'm just dying to get to the Lasher part. I want to know, I want to see a little more of Lasher. I want to take a little peek under the hood, if you will.
I can't wait
Scared.
till you can. I cannot
I'm
wait. I am so stoked.
sick of my one.
Well, we're
I
about to
know.
shift gears and go into some of the historical Mayfairs, which are, I mean, you're gonna
They
have this gonna they're gonna throw a lot of characters at you, but it's gonna be so much better than Michael and Rowan.
they did that in the beginning, and I survived. So I
You'll
just don't
survive.
ask me to recall any of them. I won't.
Okay.
I won't.
It's all right. We'll get through it.
I
All
need the
right.
family tree.
Thank you for listening to the Annegirls podcast. You can find us on the internet at annegirls.ghostinthemagazine.site.